Alright everybody, Emceemur here, and it's about time once again for another fantastic, enthralling episode of Yard Sale Findings and Scavengings. So, got a lead this week on some folks that were clearing out a warehouse full of horse duke, and there was talk of some games being in there. And you know, that could mean anything. We could be talking about a giant box of Guitar Hero crap. But no, actually some pretty top shelf stuff. And we're going to be looking at that stuff in this episode. So ripping right into the action here, we find a Sega Master System in the wild. I mean, that's never happened before. Not to me. Not saying it can't happen, but I've never had it happen. But there it was. This was the first thing I got a hold of there, and I'm just like, oh my god, where is it going to go from here? It had two controllers with it. They looked fine. Not much wear on them at all, and same goes for the console. The console looks great. The only thing it didn't have was the light phaser. But, you know, at this point, it has everything you need to plug and play some games sitting right there. Everything together included. That's probably about the best you can ask for. Found some NES cartridges. Dove right in, and the first one I get my hands on is a rare bird indeed. Conan. Freaking Conan. Do you know how long I've been looking for this? Do you? And there it was. Just sitting there. My goodness. And you know, there's a little bit of green coloration on the label here, on the spine and on the cartridge. I don't know if that's paint or crayon or what it is. I'll sure try to get it off of there. The face of the label looks great. No tears or anything. A little dirty. It could use some cleaning up, but you don't come across this. You just don't find this. I've been looking for this one for ages. It's rare that I find an NES game out in the wild that I actually still need as many of them as I've got. But boy, I needed Conan. You know I'm into some Conan. This was just the height of the height. I was so excited to pick this up. This is going on the shelf, and you can bet there will be a playthrough of this in the not too distant future. Also unearthed a copy of Castlevania III Dracula's Curse. Yeah, Dracula's Curse, definitely the most uncommon of the NES Castlevanias as far as from what I've seen out there in the wild. I always find Simon's Quest, and you find the first one every so often, but you never see this one. It's dirty, it needs some cleaning up, but the label's in good shape. It's going to be just fine when I'm done with it. Came with a sleeve. That's fantastic. Next up, Willow. Willow. Yeet Willow. Mad Martigan. It was a killer movie. I mean, Willow was awesome, and I know what this is. It's a killer RPG. I've just never had the time to play it through. Willow was another one I was just looking for ages until I finally just bought it at a secondhand store for $8. I was like, God, I want to own Willow. I want Willow. So I bought it. And after that, I started seeing it everywhere. I've probably scavenged 3 copies of this since then. That's just, you know, as luck would have it. Murphy's Law, or whatever you want to call it. That's just how it goes. But not a bad copy. Again, also could use some cleaning up, but the label looks nice. Not a bad copy of Willow. How about a little bit of Kung Fu? Yep, classic Kung Fu. Black box, classic NES title. You know, the label looks nice. It's in decent condition. It could use a little cleaning, but it's got a sleeve. I wasn't going to leave any NES cartridges behind. That's just not something I do. Again, it's common as a cold, but it looks too cool to leave it sitting there. And dear Lord, the game with no end. Rygar. I have given a name to my pain, and it is Rygar. I know there's an end to Rygar, but as far as I'm concerned, there's not. I've played it through at least 2 or 3 times. You get all the way to the end of this thing, you're on a freaking cloud looking down after climbing 800 freaking mountains, and it's like, dude, there's nowhere else to go. And then you go all the way back through, and then you end up at the very beginning again, and then go all the way back again, and it's like, dude, what did I miss? And it's like, I can't play any more Rygar. There's no save. There's no password. I'm out. It's a great game, though. That said, Rygar is totally cool. I just can't beat it. So then I stumble onto some original Game Boy cartridges, and as you know, I have committed to getting a full collection of Game Boy games. We're doing an ongoing Game Boy retrospective full of great live streams right here on the Emceemur show. So when I can find these games out in the wild, they're ones I don't have and they're cheap, gotta pick them up. First off, we've got Top Gun, Guts, and Glory. So a Top Gun game on the Game Boy, I mean, I knew there was one, but I've never gotten to play this game. And like I say, with the retrospective going on, we're going to take very close up and personal looks at these games in the live streams. Can't wait to enjoy them with you. Also found a copy of Sunsoft's Taz-Mania. Yeet the Tasmanian Devil. You know what? Taz-Mania was a great game on the Sega Genesis. Don't know if you've ever tried it. I remember renting it back in the day and actually having a great time with it. And eventually got a copy for myself to keep. But have not played the Game Boy version of Taz-Mania. I would be interested to see what this is all about. We will see what it's all about. And last, but certainly not least, and I was very excited to see this, Mega Man, Dr. Wily's Revenge. Now, unfortunately, this would be the cartridge that's boogered up. It's just very dirty. It really needs a good cleaning, and by God, I'll give it one, because it's Mega Man. I did not have this already. I would love to play this in a live stream in the retrospective, although it's probably more common. I mean, I know what I'm getting into here, but still, I'm having such a great time going back through and playing these old school Game Boy games. And before we move on from Nintendo, I did spy a lone N64 cartridge sitting there, Pokemon Snap. I'm not a Pokemon Snap guy really, but it's a Pokemon game, and therefore, of course, it's collectible. Values have really gone up on this one, I'll tell you, from where they were. And other than somebody writing on the label, it's not a bad copy, so I wasn't going to leave it sitting there. And then I see a complete Dreamcast game sitting there all by its lonesome. Centipede. Atari's Centipede. That is just fantastic. And as you can see, of course, it is complete. The disc is in great condition. My Dreamcast collection is laying down weak. I've gone through 3 Dreamcasts. They just die. They were horribly made. And after that happened, I was just fed up with Dreamcast in general, and I rage sold all my games. Didn't care. I was mad. And, you know, I wish I hadn't done that, because I finally scavenged another Dreamcast. It did work after I cleaned it up, and ironically, it was in the worst condition of any Dreamcast I've ever found. And this one, of all of them, works just fine, and it's still working today. So I'm slowly rebuilding my library. So for that reason, I was happy to find this and pick this up. Moving right along to some Xbox 360. found a copy of Grand Theft Auto 5. There's still such a demand for this game, even on the older systems. And it's got the inserts in here. I don't see the map or anything, but both the discs are in it. It could use a nicer box, which I have, and which it will get. All in all, not bad. NASCAR 14. Nah. Deep Silver, man, you know, they took over this NASCAR franchise here, or whatever the right word is, and it was like, what? Because this hit the shelves, and if I'm not mistaken, it was only like 20 bucks day one. And again, it's Deep Silver, and I don't have a lot of luck with this publisher. You know, it seems like everything they touch turns to poop. But this was complete, and you know, it looks like a pretty good quality game, but it also allows me to continually ask the question, has Deep Silver put anything good out? So I would like to test this on a future live stream. The graphics don't look great, but if it's got a good career mode, if it's got some cool aspects to it, you know, for no more than this cost, this may be one to put on the shelf. I don't know. And I was surprised to see anything this new laying around. Watch Dogs 2 on the PS4. I gotta tell you, I'm still feeling the burn from the first Watch Dogs. I mean, that to me has got to be the worst current gen game released. I mean, what an, you know, it's just to scale from the hype and what that was supposed to be, and then the absolute ripoff that it was, the letdown that it was. Horrible game. And there's going to be some future gameplay, some videos that we're going to take a look at everything that game did wrong, because there's some people that swear by it and they're just not getting it, and I'm not going to let it go. But I've had people say that Watch Dogs 2 does a lot of things right, that it was 100% improvement over the first one, and a lot of people said it was a must play. So no more than I paid for it. I wouldn't mind putting this on the shelf if it's good. We'll see. You know, I always pick these up when I see them because they're just so freaking cool, especially when they're this clean and in this good condition. The Miss Pac-Man Plug and Play. Love the joystick controllers on these. The battery port was super clean. When I can pick these up for a couple bucks, I always do, because really these are starting to bring decent money. People are after these things. It's a really convenient way to play some cool old games. Miss Pac-Man, Pole Position, Galaga, Xevious, and Mappy. I've had a handful of different ones of these, and I've had these in particular, and they've come and gone. But this one's so clean, I mean, it really is shelf worthy. This may be worth holding on to. And then I find myself an N64 Funtastic controller in a color that I don't already have. That's also something that's becoming hard for me to find, because I've got a bunch of these things. But I needed this one, and I want you to, oh, I just want you to look. Oh, that stick, it's so freaking stiff. That's what you want to see in a thumbstick. The D-pad is just so crisp, and everything's just tight and perfect. Every time I find these controllers in the wild, well, not every time, but most of the time, the thumbsticks are all wonky and they've just been rode hard and put up wet, but this one is a peach. This is definitely going in the collection. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Yard Sale Findings and Scavengings. Not a bad haul at all. Some very uncommon pieces there, and a lot of this stuff is things that I very much needed and very much wanted. We invested $76 in this lot. A little bit more than I wanted to pay, but given the rarity of some of the items and how much I really wanted some of these items, I'm okay paying that. So I'm happy with what I got. Hey, what do you think about what you saw here today? Do you have any of this stuff? Do you have any of these games? Have you played any of these games? Did you ever go to a retailer to purchase these games? Do you enjoy these games? Did you have a friend that liked these games? Did you go to the friend's house to play the game? Did the friend invite you over to play the games at the friend's house? Did the friend ask his parents, you can come over, you came over to play the games? Did your friend offer you dinner when you came over to play the games? Did you decide to spend the night at your friend's house so you can play some more of the games when you woke up before you left the friend's house? Let me know what you think about all the things that you saw here today. let me know in the comments section, because you know that I love getting a conversation going with you. We've got a lot of great stuff coming your way right here on the Emceemur Show. And while we're on that, I've got to ask you to like this video. Go ahead, like it. And subscribe if you have not already subscribed to the Emceemur Show, and hit that notification bell so you are always in the know when it is time for more yard sale findings and scavengings, more unboxings of giant collector's editions, and day one live streams of all the hottest new releases. All of that and more going on right here on the Emceemur Show. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Yard Sale Findings and Scavengings. I know I did. Can't wait to get my feet wet, jump right in and start playing some of these games. Look forward to some live streams for some of these games here. I know I am. Emceemur signing off for now, and I will see each and every one of you again next time.